Good morning everyone, I hope you are all doing well. Today I have come to the garden centre because you all know, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I've got that real shady area in the garden that gets zero sun, and so many of you have given me plant recommendations. And yeah, I think because it doesn't get any sun at any point in the day, I think a few of you have said shade loving plants will still work, but yeah, they don't need direct sun, and plus they're still getting light, they're just in the shade, if that makes sense. It's not under a tree where it's 100% dark. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look at some plants today. I've got the list on my phone. I've taken all of your plant recommendations. So I've come to the garden centre, I'm gonna check them out, and I couldn't park in my normal spot because the sun is out and it's Friday, which tells me the place is going to be really busy. So I've had to park right up the other end by the garden houses. Oh gosh, I'm telling you, goals, hashtag goals. When I see these garden houses, I just, yeah, one day when I grow up, when I've got all the money in the world, when, if, it's always the way. But yeah, I'm so tempted to bring you into the garden houses. They're not sheds, they're proper garden houses. My nail tech, so I found a local nail tech who does nails in the comfort of your own home, which I'm telling you has been a complete game changer. With my other channel, I'm using stick-on nails, not stick-ons, like gel nails with the UV light and all of that. And whilst they're technically not destroying my nails, I'm destroying my nails because of all of the work that I do, and I'm forever sitting there at night and I'm just literally ripping them off, which is so bad for your natural nails. So yeah, I found a nail tech that comes to your home, and she took one look at my nails last month and she was just like, I'm not putting nail extensions on your nails. We need to save your nails. I was like, okay. So yeah, her name's Nikki and she's just lovely. So she came again yesterday and I got a new set, not a new set, but a infill. She did some infills for me and I went with a neon red. It doesn't look neon, but under UV light they are glowing. And I'm so in love with them. And yeah, I think her Facebook page is NB Nails, and she does the whole borough that I live in, Thurrock, and surrounding like Essex areas. So yeah, we are at Thurrock Garden Centre today. Drove out here, and I think I'm going to bring you into the garden buildings with me, because why not? Who doesn't want to have a nose in garden buildings? Oh, the incredible sales rep was letting me know how much this costs to run, and it was approximately £50 a month, or £35 a month to £50 a month in electricity to run the hot tub. And I just kept thinking, I wouldn't be able to afford £50 a month, let alone the £25,000 pounds to buy the hot tub. But hey, how the other half live. I mean, Essex in the UK is well known for The Only Way is Essex. If you haven't heard of that TV show, go check it out. It's known as TOWIE, which stands for The Only Way is Essex. But I don't live in that part of Essex, so yeah, people around here got money. I love this one in particular. This is one of my favourite sheds or garden buildings. Has that bar set up at the end, and they had an even bigger one here once, and it had a whole sofa cinema layout with a pool table, and oh guys, it's just the dream, isn't it? But equally, these prices, I mean, I get it. They come, they install, they do everything. But 15 grand, 20 grand, I can't help but thinking I could make one myself. It would be mouldy in a week, but it would only cost me £200. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, each and every room was just set out to help you envisage how your life could be. Build that dream for you. You want a garden gym? Here, have this one. You've got it. You want to set up your own business at home, your own beauty parlor, massage therapy service? We've got you. Here, this is what it will look like with your massage bed in. I just love it. It reminds me of, I guess, dolls' houses, you know, being a child, and I mean, 15,000. Listen, I'm not hating on the workmanship that must go into these buildings. They are solid, really, really solid. But yeah, it just, it creates that kind of fantasy world. Like when you go back to, like I was saying, being a child and playing make-believe and having a doll's house, and each of the rooms in your doll's house was different. Probably was not a home gym or an architect's studio. But yeah, I absolutely love them. This one wasn't so bad. I mean, 9 grand is still a lot of money, but for a children's play hut, I just thought it would be such a cute little room. This one here, it was giving me all of the feels, but I think it was because of that palm tree in the corner, that Jacana, I think it's called. Yeah, love. And a sewing studio. They get you in your feels, you know. Each and every room is set up to fulfill your wildest dreams, and that is what I love about walking around them. And yeah, really, really enjoy. If you've been with me a while, you'll know how much I love this garden centre. This garden centre is tiny compared to some garden centres we have in this country. There's a garden centre near where my sister lives called Scottsdale's. I think it's Cambridgeshire. It might still be in Essex, but I think it's Cambridgeshire. And it is vast. It goes on for days. You could spend a whole day here. The garden centre culture in the UK is, I've seen a couple of videos on it recently, which has really piqued my interest because I didn't realise how different it was. But yeah, garden centres in the UK often have restaurants, more than one restaurant, desserts, clothes, shoes, candles, home decor, and all of the plants. And guys, I nearly choked. I nearly choked on my tea. This is a Dixonia. So my dream garden is Dixonia and palms. And these Dixonias, they basically grow up like a palm tree, like one big thick brown trunk, and then the green foliage comes out from the top, and they can grow quite tall. My dream plant. And when I have my dream garden, not this house, we all know I want to move. When I have my dream garden, it will be all about the palms and the jungle and the forest. So I went looking for the shaded plants. Now, there is a section here in this garden centre that has partial shade. I've mentioned it before, and I think partial shade for me always meant that at some point during the day, the sun will get to it, but for the majority of the time it's in shade. And I think I just got confused because this section of the garden is always in shade, always 365 in shade. This is one of the plants that I had already, and I'm telling you, it was flourishing. I bought this about 3 years ago, and I put it in my box, my planting box by my workshop, and it was absolutely my favourite plant, and I was going to get so many more. And then late last year or early this year, we had an unexpected snowfall, totally out of the blue, a rare weather thing overnight, and it killed it. It literally killed it overnight. I was absolutely devastated. But I have to be honest with you guys. Hydrangea was definitely recommended by my dad as well. My dad was in the comment section saying hydrangea. I think I'm just looking for more of a not luxurious, but palm. I want that fern, leafy, jungle palm feel. And these to me are just grown-ups plants. I'm not grown up. I'm not ready for these kinds of flowering plants, you know. It was the jungle theme, the jungle feel that I am looking for, which was drawing me to these. Let me tell you, I found them in the partial shade section, so I'm not sure if they're going to survive without any sun at all, but we'll see. Partial shade can mean that they're still going to get the light, and I don't even want to try and pronounce it. Dryopticus, I think Dryopticus palm. I fell in love. This reminds me of Tropical Oasis, and this is the dream for me. I might repeat myself in this video a little bit when I talk about that. Dryopteris, Jurassic gold fern. Don't know if I'm saying it right. The broad buckle fern was also a cutie. It had these little miniature ferns, and again, I was reading all of the backs, so it works well in a shaded patio or shaded borders, which I was quite happy about. So again, I do believe this went in my basket. This one here, Heart's Tongue Fern. Now, I'll be honest, I've got a certain aesthetic when it comes to a fern, and I am aware it's a fern and it works, but I don't like the look of it. I don't like the look of it. For someone who knows nothing about plants, I am a little bit fussy, because just some of them are just a little bit ugly. Do you know what I mean? It just looks a little bit sad, like it needs a hug, just not from me. And the fact that it was just $6.99 said it all, because nobody wants him. Oh, don't say that, Claire. That's a terrible thing to say about a plant. I know. This is the Vinia or Vinia. This is the plant we bought originally for the bed. We bought 3 of them, and they all died. Now, it does say here perfect for patio tubs and things like that, but it never lasted for me. It had really good ground cover, but unfortunately they never survived. And this one, Japanese tassel fern, so beautiful. You're coming home with me. Anyone seen that TikTok? You're coming home with me. This one went straight into the basket. Again, partial shade with shelter from strong winds. We've got really high fences. We're all good. Our garden doesn't get that windy. But again, I am, learning. I'm very much learning. A lot of them did say to water with a fertilizer and give them proper plant food. So that's the next step for me. I should have done it while I was there, but quite honestly, I just thought, I'll get it done. I'll get it done. It won't be as long as choosing paint colours. But yes, it was at this point I saw the hosta. So the hosta is the plant that so many of you recommended, that it's worked amazingly in your gardens. And one of my lovelies, I don't know if it was you, Chippy, that said that your dog had a bad reaction to it, got a rash. So I was looking at it, and then I was reading everything, and it looks like it would be the absolute perfect thing for the garden. Then I googled it, and it is super toxic for dogs. So the hosta never came home with me. I tried to Google as many as I could to make sure that I wasn't bringing home anything toxic for George. I planted tulips in the spring, not knowing that tulips are also toxic to dogs. So Oh, you got to be so careful now. Like, it's just not something I would have thought of. But I'm happy to report that most ferns are not toxic to dogs, which I'm telling you now fills me with joy, because watch this space, guys. In 5 years, when I've got my dream house and my dream garden, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have a jungle garden. I found a shade spot. Never in all of the 8 years of coming here did I ever see this section of the garden centre. A full shade, not even partial, full. I was shooketh to my chorus, and I was so excited. And this one here, Hucheras, I don't know. This was recommended by my dad in the comment section. Beautiful. I actually really love them. And they were all completely different colours, which was so cool. As much as I don't, this is a terrible thing to say out loud, but I don't necessarily like multicoloured plants and flowers in my garden. This one here, oh my goodness me, marmalade. Hucheras marmalade. Not only do I love marmalade, but it's the colour of autumn. It is the colour of autumn, and I knew this one had to come home with me. All the others are like, I guess, reds, purples with bluey tones, and it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. A totally reasonable price for a pot for a plant this size. So yeah, I got the marmalade. Now I just have to keep it alive. And I was so excited to see my trolley getting filled up and all of the things. And this is where I saw the sign. How am I meant to read this sign? This sign was so high up and hidden. I'm 5'3". Never seen it in my life in 8 years. So that is why I never found shade plants. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. But I loved this. I do feel at the age of 46, I'll be 47 in August. This is the first time in my life I'm getting excited to garden. I'm getting excited to grow. I don't know what's happening to me, but I'm definitely developing a green thumb, which will be music to my dad's ears, because my dad is in fact a very skilled gardener. This price, however, I could build one myself for that. My dream border is about to take place. Now I just need to grab 2 dracaenas, because I love dracaenas. Not dracaenas at all, it's cordyline. Cordyline is what I want. What's a dracaena? That's the indoor one with the 2 stems. Yeah. I was so shocked at the prices of the cordylines. I don't know if it's because they're such a dramatic structural plant that everyone loves them and they're just so powerful in a pot. But £20? I found smaller ones for £17. I then asked the woman if she had baby ones, and she said no. But for that, £22.99 for something that looks like it had a hard weekend, got hammered on whiskey, and is still hungover 3 days later. Like, no, I couldn't do it. Yes, I'd spend that on a fern. I would 100% spend that on a fern. But see, these cordylines have got like 6 leaves. No, the math ain't mathin'. So I went home without my cordylines, but just looking down at my little ferns, I need to name them. That giant one, I already feel like I need more of that. I need more of her, and the autumn colour of the marmalade against it, stunning. It was so hot at this point, I just couldn't wait to get back in the car. That was so amazing. Honestly, one day my dream, I'm on the wonk, sorry. My dream garden, like my dream garden, is jungle tropical oasis. Ferns, grasses, cordylines, but better than those ones. Just that green, rich oasis. That's my dream garden. And I will have that one day, I absolutely will. The audacity of my car dashboard to tell me it's 7 degrees. I left the house, I had my scarf, my coat, freezing cold. I am now absolutely dripping wet. I want to say It's about 25, 28 degrees inside the car. It is hot. Just coming out of the garden centre. Whew, I had to take my coat off. So yeah, weather is not weathering today. It is being very weird. It says 7. Let me see. 7 degrees. I don't know if my trip computer is actually picking up this heat. That's very odd. Because if I had any way of telling you how hot it was in here, you just have to see the glistening on my face. That is sweating. Anyway, I'm so happy. I've made a start. I didn't get much. All of the plants I bought today came to £60. £65, something like that. So I didn't go crazy, and I could have just bought one plant for £60, and I can't do that. I can't do that because spending £60 on one plant and then that plant dies, I'd rather spend £60 on 5 plants and just lose one. Well, I don't want to lose any, but you know what I mean. Anyway, let's get going. I just got home and they look so pretty in the back. Can you see them in the back of my car? They're so cute. So yeah, we're going to get them out of the car and I'm just going to place them down onto the shingle bed for now. I'm not going to dig a hole or plant them until I've kind of sat on it for a day just to see where I want them and yeah, get the placement right. I also want to water them thoroughly. So we'll do that now while the sun is still shining, and let's go. I just put the pots down and it was at this point I realised I could have bought double. I could have bought all the same again because this looks ridiculous. But the biggest fern, this one here, stunning. I've put it right at the end so it gives the most impact. And I figured I would like space them out, and this is just me reorganising, rejigging. So it's kind of going to go fern and then the marmalade Heracus. I don't know. Yeah, so it's going to go fern, colourful plant, fern, colours, fern. But I do feel like I need more already. Now, here's the dilemma. I need you guys to help me. Do I keep them in pots? I feel like putting them in the ground is sealing their RIP. I feel like I want to keep them in pots. Please let me know if they will survive in pots because I don't know anything. This is me playing with George. He hates water. Equally, he's intrigued by the hose and he finds the hose to be a threat. But he's running around, kind of tail wagging. He seems happy. Oh, listen to this. So satisfying. I did have this already in a pot. But realised the pot hasn't got holes in, so there's no point in watering it in that pot until I've drilled the holes. Don't want to kill them on their first day. But even while they're wet, the soaking wet fern reminds me of being in the Highlands of Scotland, and just the feel of it was magical for me. I went through and soaked them all and gave the pots a really good water. But yes, my question to you guys is, do I plant them in the ground or do I build up this jungle oasis, putting them all in individual pots? Will they live? Will they survive if they're potted? Because part of me is torn. The shingle bed is shingle and then it's weed membrane. Under the weed membrane is cardboard. So to actually plant them in the ground, I need to remove all the shingle, cut through the membrane, which is normal, everyone does that, and then cut a giant hole in the cardboard to make sure that the water will drain through and get into the soil that is surrounding the plants. My gut instinct is telling me that if I buy individual pots for all of these plants, I can create my own dream jungle border without having to dig holes and actually put them in the soil, which might put them at risk. Let me know what you would do. I really am torn, and I also don't want to, put them in the ground in case we do eventually move. Like if we move from here in a year or two, or whenever we move, do I take them with me? Is that mean? Is that cruel to just pick up all the plant pots and move them? Like, let me know in the comment section if you've ever moved house and if you've had potted plants, and do you literally just take all your pots with you? Because I'm already thinking ahead to the next year and what could be, what might be, and do I want to put them in the ground? Because I've already fallen in love with them. Anyway, here's a little more of George. He avoids this water. It's so funny. I didn't splash him. I didn't put the water on him intentionally because I don't want him to hate water more than he does. But he ran inside so fast, he took the rug with him, and then he came back out, and he's just the cutest. He's the cutest, but won't go near the water. Like, he's not growling or barking. His tail is still up and he's still happy. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. He's so funny. He gets all confident when he knows there's no more threat from it. So we went inside. This is the view from the kitchen window, and it's already 50,000 times better. I absolutely love it. I just think it's creating that oasis that I was looking for. And then we look over to the left, we've got the lavender and the Heybys and what's left of the tulips. I've only just learned how to look after tulips when they've gone, so I do need to get on that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Help me out in the comment section. I'm so tempted to leave these in pots so I can go and buy more and just create this stunning oasis of jungle ferns and all of the things. Let me know what you would do. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week.